Hello, this is One Scene. I'm your host, Marty. With this token old movie, we're going to develop some old movie-based analysis while also flexing our creative muscles, much in the same way your therapist does. We're going to look at The Bridge on the River Kwai. While you take a moment to reminisce about the details, I'll present a brief summary. Alec Guinness is Colonel Nicholson, a British prisoner of war who commands the construction of the camp. He is so distracted by ensuring his fellow POWs can outbuild and outdiscipline the prison guards that he forgets he's a prisoner. In interest of time, let's skip the famous whistling scene and head to the stalemate scene. In fact, let's go right to what I think is the most intense scene in the film and what really encapsulates the film. So the scene is set. To pull an old jump ahead to the scene trick, we see the commandos during the night arriving undetected and rigging the bridge ready for detonation. Everything is set, and Nicholson, who is half out of it and suffering from injuries, is somehow wandering the riverbank at dawn and literally trips on the detonating wire. This is where the study gets really interesting. Like, this one scene is basically a 3-minute study in motivated reasoning and identity fusion. Nicholson had no intention of helping his rival. You could say he cared about the enemy a little bit, though I'm sure it was unintentional. His goal was to preserve the dignity of his men and maintain their discipline in the face of such appalling conditions. That was admirable. Somewhere along the line, the bridge went from being the means to an end to the end itself. While he was busy with the project, he lost a big part of his identity and instead fused the project with his identity as a builder and discipline enforcer. The bridge represents the end of the project he started, and in a way, the end of who he was. The way he works with coping strategies that are continuously used beyond the threat they are meant to deal with, the bridge became part of his identity. An identity that's a lot more difficult to question and interrogate than a decision. So this was the end of the line. The silence that surrounds the walk to the wire is logical when viewed from the perspective. We are quiet when we're about to make a big decision. This is the opposite. This is the sound of a rationalization that has come to the end of the line, and it's about to collapse with cognitive dissonance. This is the limit of what he can rationally justify, and he can no longer maintain this distance with everything he's created and its purpose. The style of the walk resembles a trance, but it can be more accurately and closely be described as rational and detached. In this case, it is neither, but the combination of the two. The disconnection is amplified due to the months of isolation and the hotbox torture that he had to suffer. Your beliefs change, and with it, your presence in your own body. The past tense question, what have I done, is not what should I do type of question that would require him to be present. Self-assessments reflect self-concept after some distance or after a break. This is the endpoint of most rationalizations and motivated reasoning. It is leaving a world of failed arguments and almost no rationalization. Most of the storytelling in the film actually derives from absence. The soundtrack is missing in most of the film. In the majority of the clips, there's no large wide shots of Colonel Nicholson looking small against a large, long, empty bridge. Lean gives Colonel Nicholson time to walk and does not rush him, just gives the audience time to kind of take in the scene. The scene shows a wild, overgrown riverbank with only the wire in the scene being a source of order. The wire conveys the idea of being the only thread of order Colonel Nicholson has followed through the film. Lean gives this film so much order that no words are necessary. Nicholson's story, the story of the war, and the story of the bridge are all examples of the struggle of humanity. The scene may tell the most important story in the struggle, and that is the struggle of the human spirit. Through the scene, we're forced to come to the terms with the urge to build, define, and defend reason beyond the struggle. The scene offers the audience an unsettling understanding that the urge to complete and compete against each other actually has led us to a greater struggle, and that the greatest struggle, accomplished masterfully and with an unsettling order, was completely pointless. That's all for this week's One Scene. I'm Marty Gensius, same couch, next scene soon.